Growing up in a minority household, we heard little phrases like,
oh, I got diabetes because my mom has diabetes.
or
I'm big bone, so my bone structure is a little bit different from everybody else's in my family.
but is that really the truth? On today's video, I'm gonna teach you exactly why. Your genes load the gun, but it's your environment that really pulls that trigger.
Hey guys, my name's Michelle, Anita, Sarah, Julia, Peyton, Talia, Jazz, Marquita.
I'm a physique.
Product. Period. You love to see.
Y'all already know what this is. It is Trehunna from Physique. As you already know, I am a nutritionist and my main focus is on bioenergetics, which is a study of cell metabolism, and ultimately what we are choosing to do in our environment dictates what genes are being expressed. So growing up in my household, I was just simply the fat kid out of my siblings. I was big and obese. When I was in 8th grade, I was probably like 5'1" and I was 170 pounds. I didn't understand why. So on this video, I'm gonna explain to you why the genes is not really the issue. It's the genes that's being expressed based off your diet. That is the issue. You can be genetically predisposed to have diabetes. You can be genetically predisposed to have hypertension and cardiovascular disease. Hey, you might be predisposed to have breast cancer, especially if it runs in your family. But that doesn't mean sooner or later you're gonna have breast cancer. It's about you're more prone to it, but based off your environment will dictate if you get breast cancer or not. Epigenetics are basically the genes that are being expressed based off your environment. You can have some genes that are dormant inside your body that can make it easier for you to gain weight, that can make it easier for you to age and start having gray hairs earlier than everybody else. But at the end of the day, if you are giving your body the right type of signals to not express these genes, to not express the cancer genes, then guess what? You're not gonna have the cancer. You're not gonna start graying earlier, even though your dad or your mom was graying earlier, or you're not gonna be bald-headed like some people. When you are actually giving your body the right type of inputs, then it's going to express based off your genes the right type of outputs. We all know the double helix in DNA, right? The whole purpose of DNA is to help your body create genes that ultimately create enzymes. Now these enzymes got a certain job, and these enzymes help your body produce the proteins necessary for it to do its job. For some of us, we're not giving our body the right type of nutrients to create the right type of genes, which means that now our body's not going to create the right type of enzymes. It's going to be faulty or it's going to be dysfunctional. Agouti mice are basically two mice that come from the same mother, identical twins, but as you can see, this mice looks like a regular rat that you see in your house, but then you see this mice. But we've never seen these type of mice before, right? But they're identical twins. Why? This mice was able to turn off the bad genes, and this mice wasn't able to turn it off due to its environment. The agouti gene makes mice have yellow fur, be a little bit more obese, and have a higher appetite than a regular mice. But because these genes are being expressed, now it's easier for this mice to stay obese, to stay overweight, because now these genes are making this animal react in a certain type of way due to its environment. But once again, you can turn these genes off if you're giving it the right types of foods. The average American nowadays, they're not eating foods that is fueling the body. And we're also not eating to live. We're living to eat. So when we go to that brunch spot and we already have an association with that brunch spot, I'm getting a mimosa tower, I'm getting the grits, I'm getting the waffles, I might have an egg or a bacon on the side, right? But I'm eating all the carbs, all the bleached and enriched and highly palatable ultra processed foods. Because these foods that we're giving to our body is voided of nutrients, we're not giving our bodies the right type of signal to blunt or either stop producing the genes that can ultimately wreak havoc later during our life. And that's why you having a balanced diet is so important. You don't just want to have a diet full of meat. You also don't want to have a diet just full of veggies, because majority of the bioavailable nutrients that our body needs naturally comes from meat. But guess what? This meat is not coming with the polyphenols that we're going to speak about that comes from solely vegetables. The main reason why majority of my clients eat meat is because it actually has something in it called methionine. Methionine helps methylation, and methylation is, long story short, just the act of your body adding a methyl group to a gene or a carbon things like that. When that happens, it helps your body control your genes when you add a methyl group to it. But when some genes are being expressed and it's out of control, these genes are considered demethylated. Then now cells start to proliferate. And when they start to proliferate and there's nothing that's containing it, that's when cancer starts. That's why you want to give your body some methyl groups, and the only way you're going to really do that is from food, but the right type of food. And foods that are rich in methionine are animal meats. So some red meat, some steak, some lamb chops, heck, some seafood, some mussels, some clams, some oysters, things like that. You want to have foods rich in methionine. Also, you want to have foods rich in B12. And we get majority of our B12 as well from animal meats. If you're vegan, not vegetarian, you was taught that you have to supplement with B12 because that's important for the human body and it's important for methylation in general, which can quiet down your bad quote unquote genes. But also we need folate, and we get majority of our folate from things like spinach, quinoa, leafy greens. So as you can see, you don't just want to eat nothing but meat. You want to have a little bit of greens as well. But also you want to have some trimethylglycine, or long story short, hydrochloric acid. This betaine and trimethylglycine keep your stomach acidic. Long story short. And if it's acidic enough, that means it can break down the proteins that you are giving to your body. Okay, so as you can see, everything plays a part. So when you're giving your body these animal meats and it's getting that methionine and the vitamin B12 and the choline that we can get from liver, we can get from eggs, and we can get from fish. Now your body is able to quiet down the genes when it needs to because it just got the right raw materials available. But when you're not giving your body enough methyl donors, then that's when the wrong type of genes are expressed, and now your body's not able to contain these genes as effectively than the person who has enough methyl groups or homeostasis. So yes, animal meats are important, but that's only one side of the coin. You also need to have a great array of plant foods inside your diet. Animal meats and plant foods has a synergistic relationship. So when you have both of them combined, your body's gonna be robust and efficient machinery. From plant foods, we get more of those postbiotics. What are postbiotics? You heard of probiotics before, right? These are the capsules that we take and give our body more of the right gut flora or gut bacteria that we need. But the postbiotics is what your body produces based off what the gut flora breaks down from the fiber, and what it's producing is usually butyrate, which is the main form of currency for your enterocytes, or long story short, for your gut, right? But it's also going to produce propionate and acetate. These things can help your body regulate its appetite, lower blood pressure, and also helps your body become a little bit more insulin sensitive. Your body's running more efficiently because you're getting your body fiber. But you're only getting fiber from plant foods. So that's why you need to have some veggies in your diet as well, not just straight up meat. When people eat broccoli, you're not getting a lot of the benefits when you're actually just putting broccoli in your mouth. You actually have to break down broccoli. So when you start crunching down the broccoli and breaking it down, then it starts producing something that what you heard called sulforaphane. And sulforaphane is one of the main things that can help you prevent cancer and help suppress tumors inside your body. The same thing happens with garlic. When you're crunching the garlic, now it's going to start producing an enzyme called allicin. So when you swallow that, now you're getting the anti-inflammatory benefits of garlic and the antimicrobial benefits of garlic. Another main benefit that we get from vegetables is polyphenols. Polyphenols are the reason why you see some vegetables got a potent color to it. It has that rich color because of the polyphenols, such as tomatoes got the lycopene, and the eggplant or blueberries got anthocyanins in it. So you want to have a diet rich in color, not voided of color like white. If it's white, it's not right. And a white man taught me that. So white potatoes, white rice, white bread. That means it's bleached and it's enriched. And the reason why they have to enrich it is because when we was processing it, we took away all the vitamins and minerals. So you want to have foods that got some color to it, gonna help your body contain inflammation. And by the way, all chronic diseases, cancer, high blood pressure, things like that all started with some form of chronic inflammation, which means your body couldn't dampen the inflammation that was happening. Diabetes, all that literally means is chronic inflammation, period, where it's uncontained. Inflammation means inflamed. So you need to contain your inflammation if you want to be healthy, if you want to be vibrant, if you want to feel youthful for the foreseeable future. Polyphenols can help regulate your hormones and just help your body run better. You have more antioxidants to combat the reactive oxygen species. Your body is able to protect itself a little bit better. And now, because you're giving your body enough methyl groups coming from the animal sources of your protein, now you're turning off the bad genes such as the cancerous genes, the genes that's going to make you more prone to be more obese or diabetic. As you can see, epigenetics matter more. All because you got the genes doesn't mean that that's going to be your fate. You can do something about it if you choose to change your diet and give your body the right inputs so you can experience the right outputs. You can have two identical twins, so they got the same hardware. But if I'm giving both of these twins different software updates, one twin is eating nothing but McDonald's, highly processed foods, bad seed oils, and the other twin is cooking majority of the foods. They're eating more vegetables, less things that come in a bag, box, or barcode. Of course, they're gonna have two different outcomes, even though they got the same hardware. But that's because one is choosing to give their body the right type of methyl groups and right type of inputs coming from food, and they're not living to eat, they're eating to live. And the other one is giving their body the wrong type of inputs, not giving their body the right type of methyl groups, voiding their body of nutrients, and now some of their genes are demethylating, which means it's unraveling, it's not being controlled, and guess what that means? That's when cancer arises. That's when diabetes arises. That's when high blood pressure arises. That's when all your cravings arise, because it is not controlled. It's not in a controlled environment. So I just tried to give you some game about epigenetics and how nutrition come into play. Hopefully that kind of resonates with some of y'all, so you're not just thinking,
oh man, well if my mom or my grandma got breast cancer, that means I'm gonna have it.
Or for nowadays, we're seeing a lot of people dealing with Alzheimer's, right? And we're seeing that it runs in the tree. All because you got the ApoE4 gene doesn't mean you're going to have dementia. But if you're eating a lot of sugar, a lot of carbs, you're not giving your body a lot of fiber with your carbs, that's what you can expect. And if you pay attention to somebody who got Alzheimer's or dementia, just look at their diet. They're not going to eat a lot of proteins. They're not going to be eating a lot of veggies either. Cool? So change what you got going on right now. That's your reset tip of the day. That's going to be Stay Snatch all the time. No, in the summertime. I'll talk to y'all soon.